Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Owner's Box. I'm Billy Koch, founder and managing partner of the Little Red Feather Racing Club. Joining me alongside, as always, is the fresh as a daisy looking Michelle.
Do I look
Michelle,
fresh as a daisy?
you really do. You look fresh.
Oh,
You look ready to talk to a very special guest today. And as soon as he jumps in, we're going to go right to him. It's Jayson Werth. He is not only was he a fantastic baseball player for the Philadelphia Phillies, won a World Series. He is also the part owner of Dornoch. We're going to hear about his horse racing journey today, Michelle. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I
Yeah, I'm not.
actually even though like he's been, I guess you could say widely covered in our sport, I actually don't know like anything about him, so I'm excited for that.
I don't either. I don't know. I don't know how he got into it. I don't.
Me
Maybe I
neither.
haven't read the articles or anything, but I'm very excited. You know, as a former baseball player, I'm sure he'll have
Mhm.
probably heard of me. He'll think I'm the other Billy Koch from the Oakland A's, even though I'm much more handsome than that guy is. I was actually like very rarely, if ever, have I gotten nervous to do a show. I think there was one time, and I can't remember who it was.
And you're
Uh,
were you are you nervous to do this
I'm a
show?
little nervous. Like
Really?
not. I'm kind of more excited than nervous,
Right.
but like I just want to
The
make a good
butterflies?
impression. Do I have what?
Yeah. The butterflies?
No, I don't really have. Maybe I'm not nervous. Or maybe I'm just excited. So, Jason's going to join us any second. We'll go to him. But Michelle, why don't we just start on three things of note and get that out of the way before Jason jumps on?
So very quick, first thing of note for me was certainly some big stakes this weekend, namely at Saratoga, where we saw Arthur's Ride step up so big time in the Whitney. I have been a fan of this horse. I loved his race. I understand it was on a sealed racetrack, and everyone's going to give all these excuses, right?
Right,
That
right.
horse has been a stone cold runner
Yeah, he
since he
had really
started.
fast sheep numbers going in. I think
Yeah.
everybody was.
So
I mean, he
how
was only
cool is he?
5-1. It wasn't like he was some big long shot. So
No,
yeah.
no. So
Another
I thought
another
he was
big white
awesome.
horse on the radar. Who's your favorite white horse of all time?
Oh, that was like white during racing, or like that turned what
Yeah,
after?
no, we don't care after.
Oh, I don't know actually, because I mean, my favorite gray is Holy Bull,
Holy
but
Bull
he
is a
wasn't,
gray.
he was
Silver
dark
Charm,
gray.
kind of gray, right.
Oh yeah,
My 2
Silver Charm.
favorites, and this is going back, and some
Skip
people I
away?
know that
Free House?
Steve Haskin always I love Free House. Steve Haskin always watches the show. Egg Drop, what about Egg Drop?
Oh yes, Egg Drop.
But here's the best was, La Zanzara and also Vigors. Those were the
Oh,
2
Vigors.
back in my day when I was a kid, and they both came from way behind, and they were awesome white horses. So
John
congratulations
White
to.
could tell me some good Viger stories,
Oh, I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could. Steve
starting
Haskin's
with his
definitely
name
your right
because I
name.
called him Vigors one time, like
Really?
vigorous. Yeah, and he was like, Michelle, it's Vigors. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. So I've never heard a race call.
That's pretty good.
So
Pretty
I
good.
thought that was really exciting. Over here on the West Coast, we also had the grade one Clement Hirsch, which was won by Adair Manor. I thought Scylla ran really well. Flying Connection continues to be a good horse, but there is just no doubt that the best older mare out here is Adair Manor.
No question. And she didn't have her perfect trip. She didn't make the
Mhm.
lead. She kind of got bottled up. I thought it was a really good ride by JJ Hernandez to stay patient, swing her out, and let her get that long stride going. And obviously, she is a star, and hopefully, she will be back for the Breeders' Cup later in the year
Oh,
for
of
Michael
course
Lennon
she is,
Peterson,
right?
who really struggles in this game. Michael Lennon Peterson, he doesn't win that often with big time horses.
Yep. So
Not like Convene or anything like that. Remember
Um,
Convene?
the the third thing of note is kind of a reminder of note about two
Mm,
big fundraisers we want to talk about. Actually, we'll
yeah,
make it three big fundraisers. So the
yeah.
first thing is Karmathon is going on, right? So
August
please head
24th is the
over
official date, but you can go on to our website, karma for
for
four
the number four.
horses.org, and start your donations now. We got one big donation already from Mike Stanton, who's been a just huge
Mark
supporter.
Stanton.
Mark Stanton, I'm sorry, I
Yes,
apologize.
every time he always bets on his horses, and
I love
anytime
it.
I pick his horse and he bets, he lets me pick a aftercare, and so
That's awesome.
99% of that money has gone to Karma.
Mark, we appreciate you, man. Yeah, but the 24th is the big day. You'll hear a lot about it on social media leading up to it, and hopefully we can reach our 150 goal again and maybe surpass it this year.
Okay, the second big fundraiser that we have coming up is going to be Jockey Karaoke. We mentioned it lightly last week. It is Sunday, August 11th at the Belly Up in Solana Beach, and all the riders get up and they sing karaoke. It's a lot of fun. You can buy tickets online at thepdjf.org, or hey, come on down if you're in the neighborhood, or if not, you can just donate money.
It's a fun night. It's a fun night. I heard Ricky Gonzalez got kicked out.
Of the Belly Up or of the show?
No, of the show. Like he had a whole song prepared, and I heard he got the boot.
Well,
Were you there? Were you at the preview?
I did not do it this year. No, Mike Joyce was there this year. Which it is his baby. I was filling in last year, so
I was with Rispoli and Fresu last night, and they were giving me some tips on who might be good and who won't be good. But show up on Sunday at the Belly Up.
All right, so that'll be fun. And then our third fundraiser thing I want to definitely promote is the Little Red Feather charity handicapping contest to benefit Billy's own aftercare.
Yeah, LRF Cares. I think it's our third or fourth year we've been doing this. It's a lot of fun. It's a $600 entry, $300 live money, $300 goes to LRF Cares. And not only does LRF Cares just support our own racehorses, but it also supports groups like Karma and the TAA. And anytime something happens within the industry, we usually donate through LRF Cares. So it's really an all-encompassing type charity, and it's a good cause, and it'll be a fun contest. We have a lot of people playing. There's some seats left. So if you're watching this and you haven't
I wish I was a better live money player, because I would play.
I'll buy your entry fee.
I'm a crappy live money player.
So what? I'll buy it for you and you can play. We'll team up. We can't team up. So
I'm
just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. The $2, I feel like a little more confident because that's the format I always play. When it's a live money, I get nervous. I'm like, I can't bet a $20 double. That seems like so much,
That's crazy. Well, we have 2 horses running Sunday, so hopefully, I will either be going all in.
Oh no, is Blister in the Sun Sunday?
That's Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, last race on Saturday. So should be a great weekend at Del Mar, though. A lot of great action. The weather has been spectacular for all you Saratoga fans.
I've been at home all week. It was 110 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's 76 here. It's amazing. And the
water. Tell people how they can. Wait. You got to tell people how they can get to.
Go to the Del Mar website, dmtc.com, and you can find it there on their website to sign up for the contest. There's limited space available, so if you're going to do it soon.
Let me see. Since we don't have our guest yet.
Yeah, we're waiting for Jayson Werth. So if you're fast forwarding the show, I'm going to give you a cue. Stop when Jayson joins us.
Let's
live
see.
Here on the owner's box.
Full calendar.
Where are we looking at?
I'm gonna enter into Del Mar.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
So if you go to Del Mar's website and you go to Discover and Full Calendar, you'll end up here. And then
that's so cool.
So look there's a link to Jockey Karaoke, and here's a link to the Charity Challenge.
There it is. Charity Challenge.
Right here.
Sign up, people. Register now.
$30,000 in prizes.
Yeah.
Cash, Breeders' Cup betting entry, NHC seats, and PCBC entry.
Yeah, you're not going to have a contest like this that's small that you could really make an impact. Because there's only going to be 200 something people in there. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I don't know if there's going to be that many.
I think it's 150.
Oh, it says cap. 150 entries. Yeah. So this is
155. Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for someone out there looking to get a seat at the BCBC or in the NHC. Going to be really cool. Going to be a lot of fun.
Yay. All right, so 10 of 10, recommend that. Let me take that away then. And I had one other thing, Billy.
What did you have?
Poop, I can't remember.
Didn't he send us a thing we're supposed to look at? The guy?
Oh, I mean, yeah, we have an ad, but I had one more thing, a thing of note. What was it?
Michelle, I mean, you should be more organized.
I know. I got really excited about this. What about the Saratoga sale?
Oh, that was bonkers.
I mean,
spend so much money on
it was like playing Monopoly.
I don't understand how everyone says the economy is bad, horse racing is on the downside, and then
3 million, 4 million.
People are buying these $1 million horses, and I know you don't buy those kind of horses. I don't buy those kind of horses. I don't know if I ever would, even if I did have the money, buy those kind of horses. It's just there's so much expectations now from that horse, and rarely
Well,
Do
they're
they
not
live
gonna
up to
make it
those
back, right?
expectations?
It's just so you have, like, the bragging rights, like,
I
to
don't know.
have.
We're
I
going to
mean,
see
you're not
Noonie
trying to
this
make your money
weekend. We're
back.
going to see Noonie this weekend, who is really impressive. She was, I believe, 1.8 million. So,
Mhm.
she wins the Sorrento and punches her ticket to the Delaware Debutante. It's a good race, Michelle. I don't know if you noticed that, but Vodka with a Twist is in there for our good friend
Mhm.
Bill Strauss and our good friends at Medallion. Noonie, obviously. It's an interesting race. So, what was that,
Our
lady?
horse,
You have a horse
we've
in
got a
there?
horse in there.
Oh, nice. I didn't even
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
What's the
we got a
horse's
horse.
name?
Night Beacon.
Can she win?
I mean, she ran a 76 Buyer on debut.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Are
Hold
you
on, we're gonna
checking
do a quick pause, quick pause.
for Jason? All
Okay.
right, Michelle,
Sorry,
we're back.
sorry, sorry. Yes, I remembered my last thing after
Yes,
the
sir. Yes, ma'am.
craziness of the Saratoga sale. This got overshadowed, but I thought it was amazing that you and, was it a complexity share, or what was it? What was the other horse?
No,
There was something
the
else.
ice cream you scream.
Yeah, but there was a flash sale of 2
That was
horses.
ice
It
cream.
was
No, that
Ice
was
Cream,
ice
You
cream
Scream,
you
and one other
scream.
horse.
Oh, Emmanuel.
Oh, Emmanuel, that's what it was. Okay, so we had a flash sale on Phasig, and it was, like, parts of this horse, and you sold my 3rd of Ice Cream, You Scream. Right out from under me, Billy.
Yeah, it was a great
Uh,
listen, Mark Martinez, who's a very good friend of mine from Agave Racing Stable. We had campaigned Fault with him and several other horses with him, and he was kind enough to go in and he bought a third of ice cream for $330,000, which is a lot of money, and we cannot tell you how much we appreciate it, Mr. Martinez. If you're watching, Mark's the best. He's
Now all
really
she has to
involved in
do is
racing.
go and win the Del Mar Oaks.
All we have to do is go win the Del Mar Oaks now, which is next a week from Saturday, which is exciting. She had a great work last week. She's
Yeah,
doing
she did.
phenomenally well.
She worked so good last week. I
Yeah,
think
she
she,
worked
like,
really good.
outworked her company and, like, found other company and outworked that horse
She
too.
worked really, really good. It's an exciting time. I mean, these grade ones are so difficult, Michelle. You know that, and just even have the opportunity to grab one with a horse like her is really special, and it means a lot to the partners. And our partners are so happy; they're over the moon. Um, we brought in Mark, and everyone's really excited. So it should be an interesting week leading up to the grade one on the 17th. The Del Mar
Can
Oaks.
can I ask some questions?
Yeah.
What led you to want to sell a large portion of her in a flash sale?
Um, Michelle, you know this game really well, and you want to really try to sell a horse at the
Mhm.
top of the market
Perfect.
when they're
Mhm.
the most valuable. And right now, as an undefeated Grade Two winning filly with some good pedigree by Twirling Candy,
Good candy.
her value is very high. And now,
Mhm.
obviously, Mark, the buyer, sees it. Well, it could be higher if she's able to pick off that Grade One.
Grade 1.
So
Mhm.
he's taking that risk. Then in 3 weeks after his investment, he can instantly make money. So that's the risk. But for us as a partnership, it always makes sense to take some money off the table.
Yeah, because that's a
We
way to
paid
give back
100.
to your partners instantly, right? Like,
We paid 145,000 for the entire filly. Everybody gets to keep 2/3 of their initial investment in the horse, so everybody just downsized by a third,
mhm.
and they for a 10% share, they're getting back close to $30,000. So it's really it just made financial sense. We were approached by Boyd Browning of Facing Tipton and our good friends at TaylorMade, and we thought it was a great idea. And our partners, there are some partners who maybe have small shares, like, I don't want to sell my share. And like,
Right.
kind of had to explain it to them a little bit. Like, you're not really selling your share. You're just selling a little piece of your share,
Yeah.
and you're going to get all your money back right now. So you're
Yeah.
going to take all the
Now
risk
she's a
off the
free
table.
horse that you get to enjoy.
That's exactly right. So, but we're hoping for bigger and better things. But it's it's an interesting thing in the old days, and how this industry has changed is that you would sell privately to a Saul Cumin
Yes.
or a Bradley
Yes.
Weisford or whoever would come in and take a quarter. Well, this market, that private purchase market, has gotten really tough because through technology, we all know the same horses. We're all bidding against each other. We see a horse here. So it's tough to find that beer can man anymore, Michelle. The
Yeah.
one that you buy from Indiana Downs or wherever we bought
Right.
beer can man from. So by doing this, it's more of a public auction. Hey, you want a third of this horse? Here's a
Mhm.
perfect
Put your
opportunity
money
to
in
do
line,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe it goes up a
Also,
little
it's a
more.
great way to say fair market value, right? Because whenever people call you, they're like, I want to give you 100. And you're like, well, she's already worth 100 if she wins and da da da,
Right.
she's worth 200. I mean, just to go bottom numbers, but
Absolutely.
like,
No,
so
it's
this way, it's like
total.
this is the market setting the value of her.
Absolutely, and that's what it did, and that's
Was
why
it, were
I
you
think
nervous like watching it? Because it wasn't like an instant sale, right? It's like a gradual, like going
I
up sale.
I wasn't nervous. It's kind of what we were talking about before. I was more kind of excited to see what
Yeah.
she would bring, and we had a feeling that she would get up there, close to $1 million valuation. And Mark really stepped up. So kudos to him and his team, and hopefully we can prove him right in the Delmar Oaks in just over a week.
Now,
It's gonna be a lot of
whose
fun.
silks is she gonna wear? Is
Yeah,
that
no,
something that you
she'll.
disclose on the well, you've been partners with Mark before, so you guys
Yeah,
might
we're
already have a thing out, but, like,
no, we're
what
good
happens
friends
if
with Mark.
someone random bought into her? Would there be, like, a
No, we
disclosure?
Yeah, we said that she would run in our silks in the Delmar Oaks, and then if everything goes well, and I'm
Mhm,
knocking, and she ends up going to Kentucky to run possibly in the Queen Elizabeth or something like
mhm.
that, that she would wear the new owner's silk. So, and
Okay,
when then we'll rotate, we'll do it every third race.
right.
They would get their silk. So
Okay,
you
fair.
want to listen, if people are going to put up their money for that, we think silks are important, and we want to reward that.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks for all the
Why'd you change your
transparency
hair?
there. Huh?
Why'd you change
Why'd
your
I
hair?
change it? Well, because it's, like, flat. Because 'cause I've been wearing a helmet because I was riding, and it was just bugging me.
I
Alright, we're
just
gonna
want to know
pause.
if people.
I'm gonna
I would
pause,
love.
and I'm gonna chase up Jason right now.
Okay, here we go. Doing great. Hey, Jason Werth joining us here on the Owner's Box. A very special guest. Your beard is much better than mine, I think, first of all.
Well, it's browner, it's definitely not as gray.
Definitely browner. Yeah,
It's
welcome to
coming.
the
It's getting
show.
gray. It's getting gray on the sides, though. It's happening.
So if we combined, it would be probably the best. Oh, we lost him.
Hopefully just
Oh, there
visual.
he's back. You're back. Uh, anyway, thank you for joining us. Tell you listen. Everybody knows about your background with the Phillies and the World Series. We'll get into that. But how did you get into horse racing? Uh-oh. Can you hear us?
Uh-oh,
Oh,
we
he's
lost
muted.
the sound.
All right. Very sorry for the technical difficulties. We have Jayson Werth joining us here on the Owner's Box. We know about all the baseball stuff. How did you get into this crazy game of horse racing?
Well, that's a good question, and that's the tough part about this game, right? How do you get into it? There's no real entry, and you kind of got to know somebody, or you got to just trust somebody's not gonna steer you the wrong way or something. I was playing golf down here in Florida with Rich Averill, who's won a lot of races at Tampa Bay Downs, and
Sure.
he kind of took me under his wing and showed me the ropes a little bit. And we've had some success with some horses. Our
Some
audio,
success.
Some
some
horses. Yeah.
success. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in a short period of time, we've had a lot of success in a short period of time coming into the sport. Our Audio's Jersey, our Callie Kim. We had our Harper Rose. All Rich's horses start with an R, if you haven't noticed. But our Harper Rose ran in the 8 Bells and the
Yep.
Oaks Day, and had a bad post, ran right out of the gate. Then it was funny in the paddock. I was sitting there talking to Safi and Tyler Gaffleone, and it was like, with the post, we want to get her to the inside and to the rail, because the middle of the track that day was sloppy and it was dead.
Yeah.
So, worst case scenario, happens. She breaks right, and then she runs right down the middle of the track, all the way to the, she ran big through the mud and everything, and just gutted her. And she finished, I don't know, 55 lengths back, and she eased, and tough trip. But I was talking to Rich today. It's just she's gonna, they're gonna, what's that called when you put them in the field for a while? She's on a layup.
A little
So
turnout.
R&R, yeah.
yeah. So
Spa. The spa.
she's at the spa. She got to the farm today. I got a video of her. She looks great. She's sound. She just needs some time off. That was she's ran some big races for us, and that was a tough one with that on the Oaks Day. And she ran back in a stake, and she just she's a little tired, so we need to get her back. But we've had some good horses, and that's how I got into the sport. And since then, I've First colt I buy with was with Danny, was Dornoch, and had a little bit of success there.
Yeah,
And
a little bit,
and
a little bit. But you know, it's interesting though, because you said, we say this all the time, that the barrier of entry into this sport is tough.
right.
When you jumped in and just started going to Tampa Bay Downs, how much did you know about the sport? And
But you
then
sound really educated.
yeah, how much have
It's
you
like
learned?
it's like death through a fire hose, right? It's like I'm learning really fast. I've immersed myself in the sport. I've jumped in with 2 feet. I probably got in over my head at one point in time. I had way too many horses and too many bills.
Yep,
But kind of reconfigured and got lucky with Dornick and all the success. And I've just immersed myself. It's an amazing sport. But I agree with you. How do you get into the game of horse racing? There's no good entry. And for over 150 years or 100 years, whatever you want to call it, the sport really hasn't grown. And so I've been working on some stuff. I'm not quite ready to talk about it or roll it out, but that's one of the things I'd like to change is getting more owners in, and
yep,
because it's an amazing sport. It really is. It's incredible. Once you get in and you realize what's going on, and you learn, and you go to the backside and you see the horses in the barns, you talk to the trainers and the exercise riders, you go watch them work out in the morning, and there's just so much to the sport. I bring people to the track and they're just like blown away. Everything's so far over their head,
right.
until like the 10th or 11th race, and then they're finally, it's like you can see like in their eyes, they're starting to get it, and then the day's over, they're like, can we come back tomorrow?
Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, so I've seen that happen so many times, and there's so many guys I've talked to that want to get in. So we're working on something to help the entry and to get more owners in the sport.
Yeah, that
What do you feel like
Jason.
the biggest learning curve was for you when you got in? Was it finding your way around the backside? Was it finding a horse to buy? Was it condition books? Like, what's been the
Yeah,
biggest hurdle?
I'm still learning. I mean, the condition book thing is, I definitely utilize the trainers on that. I tell you that the handicapping was the hardest part, probably because I was so, I wanted to do it and I didn't know nothing about it. So
Right.
learning how to read the figures and the sheets and everything was probably like, it's been like learning a new language. But just everything, like from start to finish, A to Z. One of the biggest things for me in the sport that one of my biggest takeaways is how much has to go right from
Yeah.
on race day, from the time they leave the barn till the time they get in the gate.
Yeah.
And I tell people this, they just don't understand. I brought Chase Utley to the Haskell, and he was like, man, I was having anxiety watching your anxiety. So and
I was gonna ask you, stay on that for a second, because you've been in so many big games, and in baseball, you're not always in the field, or you're not always at bat. So you're in the dugout. What is the difference between being in a big game, sitting in the dugout, watching, rooting your teammates, or rooting a horse like Dornoch?
Yeah, so I never had nerves and anxiety when it came to baseball. I always, I was very confident and calm, and it's just very business-like. You got a job to do. You had all this stuff, from in the morning. You got up, you ate, breakfast about the same time. You did the same things, and while going into a game, you had your routines, and then the game start, and then you for 3 hours you're on the field ready to roll. Horse racing is the exact opposite. I don't know what to eat. I don't know where to sit. I don't know where to stand. I'm just wanting to get in the gate. It's like, Kentucky
Right.
Derby. I was having an outer body experience. I was hyperventilating. I almost passed out, but then the gates open, and that's what the cool part is. Then you feel like you're back on the field, you're back in the game, you're having the
Right.
same emotions, the same chemicals in your brain are going off. And that's what's so cool about retired athletes. I think that you miss that. You can't go
Yeah.
play beer league softball or golf or something to get those things. So when the gates open and those horses are running, it's like you're back on the field. So
Right.
then you run big and you win. It's like winning depending on the race, you know, it's like winning a World Series game. Even a 16 claimer on a Tuesday afternoon at Tampa Bay Downs is like
It's
winning a
exciting.
big game. So
Yeah.
I've told that story, and I tell people that, and the more people I show, they get it. It's an unbelievable sport. It's an underrated sport, and I keep saying this, but I don't think we've even scratched the surface on how big this sport could be. And then we're working on something to maybe help change that. So it's
I
been fun.
can't. Well, we can't wait for that. I mean, back in the day, we had in our partnership, Little Red Feather, we had LeBron James, we had Paul LaDuca, we had a bunch of hockey guys, and they all loved it. They had that same passion you did, but sometimes the horse doesn't run for 6 months, or as you said, the horse goes to the spa. There are
Yeah.
bills. Those things kind of affected them, and they didn't really do it. How do we, as a society, I guess, change that? And maybe what you're proposing, and we don't know what it is, we'd love a little tease, is putting something together where they don't just get in on one horse, but maybe they get in on a bunch of horses, so they have that action. Would you say that's probably a good idea?
Well, you've seen these kind of new age syndicates been rolled out. Commonwealth wins the Derby with Mage, full
Yep.
brother to Dornoch. My racehorse wins the Preakness this year with Seize the Gray. There's some new syndicates coming online that we've talked to that have kind of like dancing around the idea. I think that it's getting close. I think it's getting there. It's getting there. What we're doing is more encompassing. I think you gotta create a one-stop shop for not only the people that are like me that want to get in and invest in the horses and play the game, but also the fans that can kind of follow along and go to the same site and see some of this stuff. Create a buzz around more of the media and what America's Best Racing has done with some people like
Sure.
myself and those videos that they've put out is, I mean, I think that's kind of part of it, right? The horse racing has a little bit of a storytelling problem,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's been telling the same story for too long, and now with the ability of technology and the access that people have to the phones and add into it that this generation of ADHD people that can't keep their
TikTok.
mind on a 3-hour baseball game, but they can watch a 2-minute race. And
Right.
by the way, you can gamble on it. I mean, this is like the gambling generation on top of everything else. So I think horse racing is set perfectly to boom over the next few years. It's gaining traction. The way that they're shooting races and the way they look on television is pretty cool. I haven't been around, I haven't followed too long, but when I go back, when I go back and watch old races, it's not the same. The way that
No.
The
the way,
one camera that just follows them around.
It
how
with
cool
not
is
no
that? I mean, it's
HD.
like, now they got the cameras on the tracks that are like
Yeah.
right next to them, like the
Yeah.
Derby, the way they shot it. So, I think that this all the stuff that we're kind of talking about, and you start telling some good stories and showing the people involved and what really goes on the backside, and you tell the story about how great the sport is, how great the people are. You know, you got the kind of the messaging that horse racing hasn't changed and it's still the same as it was you know 40, 50, 100 years ago, and that's not the case.
No.
Heiss has come in and for better or for worse have done what they've been doing, but it's changed the rhetoric a little bit. I think you just need some messaging, some storytelling, and um, if there's a way to maybe create some sort of all these new documentaries that are coming out that help
They
help
they shoot
tell the
you.
story.
They filmed you, right? The Netflix guys.
Yeah, we've been kind of talking to them, and that's part of it too. So, I mean, I told you guys more than I've told anybody else so far. Usually you got to sign an
We'll
NDA to have this
well, that's
conversation, but
no, we're
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 good.
getting
You don't have
close.
to
We're
worry
getting
about
close.
us. They shot me too, Jason. I did play college baseball. All right.
Yeah, well, hey, you're big time in the sport. We need good people like you guys telling the story, giving the right messaging, and building the sport up. And we'll go out and we'll get more owners and we'll get more people to invest in these great animals and on top of everything else, horse racing does do a great job of creating the bones and the structure for an unbelievable event. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
every weekend you can go somewhere and go see a big time race. Big time horses, all the trainers, all the jockeys are there. Not to mention the jockeys. I mean, why haven't we told the story how cool the jockeys are? These guys are rock stars, right? Like, let's
They're
get to
pretty
know
cool.
these guys. So,
Yeah.
got some big ideas. I love the game. It's become a passion. I'm still learning, but I think the messaging and the storytelling of some of the old rhetoric and the stigmas involved in the sport need to change.
Yeah, it's a good
I
point,
want to,
Michelle.
since you're talking about storytelling and being in the game, and I love that your story involved a 16 claimer at on a Tuesday at Tampa, but
Yeah.
your horse has won 2 of the biggest races this year. He's the leading 3-year-old right now. So I kind of want you to tell us the story about kind of watching Dornoch and how he's gotten to be the top 3-year-old of the year.
Yeah, so it's funny. I bet so much on him on the Belmont day, and like just absolutely
Did
killed it,
you?
because I was like, there's no way he can lose this race. I was, I thought he was going to win the Derby. He was a little banged up in the and excuse me, in the bluegrass. He had a little foot thing, and Danny protected him by raiding him, and he got stuck behind horses. He doesn't like to be behind horses, and we saw that again in the Derby. But he came off a layoff in the Fountain of Youth, and he ran great. And everybody said, "Oh, he hasn't taken a step forward." But
Mhm.
he ran off a layoff and won easy. But if you go back to the Remsen, when he beat Sierra
Yep.
Leone goes, he bangs off the quarter pole, knocks him
As
off
he always does.
stride.
Yeah.
Sierra Leone's, one of the best horses, best,
Yeah.
2-year-old, best 3-year-old in the world right now, still runs by him a full length. And you see Dornoch change leads, and you see his ears prick, and he digs in, and he has so much game. And I just thought it was so overlooked. He was so
Yeah.
such a bad
Yeah.
dude. And then bad trip in the bluegrass, bad trip in the Derby, the one post in the Derby, throw it out, right?
No
Yeah.
doubt.
15-1 in the Belmont, ended up being 17-1. I had him I had the 2-day double with him and Torpedo Anna. We're gonna get to see them go at it in the
That's going to be
Travers.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
hit
that's going to
2-day
be
pick
awesome.
6, 2-day pick 5. I hit everything. So, and I brought some friends to that race. I brought the Utleys to the Haskell, and introduced them to horse racing. Who, like people like them, they have all these reservations about the sport because they're
Sure.
animal lovers, and they do a lot for animal cruelty, and they really wanted to see it close up, and I've been telling them so much and trying to change their minds, and we still got a ways to go with people like
Yeah.
that, but it was an eye-opening experience for them. So to share that race with them and some of the other people along the way, it's just been great. And the horse, he's the coolest dude, man. You go see him in the barn, he knows he's good. He's got that badass attitude, and he's a
If
winner, man. Winners win. It's been
if
a
wait,
crazy
if
ride.
if Dornoch was a baseball player, who would he be? Any generation?
I always say he reminds me of me. He's big dude. He's a big bad dude with a bad attitude. He's everyone. I wasn't that coachable. He's tough to train.
Right.
He's tall like I was. He's like always he bites. He's mean. So I don't know. I would have to think about who else he reminds me of. But he's one of the best 3-year-olds in the world right now. Got a chance to run big in the Travers, and Haskell. We're in the Breeders' Cup, so look, you can't ask much more of him. I mean, he's been incredible. Dream come true. My first colt I ever bought and got into. So I mean, I've got him. I got pictures of him all over the house. He's got, I've got him.
Oh,
He's in my. He's right here in my visor
That's
above my.
awesome.
I
was
got
that
him
like it looked like a
everywhere.
baseball card. Is it like a baseball card, like a trading card?
So somebody, who is it? It's oh, I can't read it now. Somebody Diorio. He's
Oh yeah.
photographer. This is.
Yes.
Oops, sorry. This is his business card right
That
now.
is awesome.
So I got it
That's
right up
awesome,
here.
man.
Yeah, he goes with me everywhere. He's the man. We love this dude, and all these horses are like they become family members and pets. Our Callie Kim was my first like stakes winning mare. Her and our Adios jersey, and we go see her in the barn. And when we sold her, John Stewart bought her. Is that
Well,
right?
she'll have a good home then.
Yeah. As a
She's in
breeder.
she's in full to Flightline right now. So
Oh,
I've
Nice,
she's
you
nice.
look
she's
for those
great too.
babies.
So yeah,
That's
it's tough
awesome.
to get good horses, and I've been blessed, and we've had a good time so far.
Well, listen,
Exciting.
we've taken up more of your time than we promised. We appreciate everything you do. Please keep spreading the word, man. We need people like you in the
Oh
sport.
yeah.
And Michelle and I will back you up, and we're here to help anything you need.
Awesome.
And great. Have a great Travers. That's going to be insane.
Yeah, be cool.
That's going to be an insane race.
And you guys do the same too. You guys are doing good stuff. I'm the keynote speaker on Tuesday at Saratoga for the luncheon, the gaming and racing luncheon.
Oh,
That's
that's
awesome.
exciting.
That's so fun.
This has been a good preview, a good practice here. So appreciate that.
There you go, man. Well, we appreciate it. Jason Werth. Enjoy your day and keep up the good work, man. We need it.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you so much.
That's Jason Werth here on the Runner's Block. I smiled like the whole time.
I know. You know, he has so much passion. And like when he's like, yeah, I just got talked into it at golf. And then he's rattling off stats and where you are. And like the way he talked is so fluent. Like I was sure he was going to tell me, oh yeah, my grandpa used to take me. I've been going since I was a kid. I should get an ownership. I mean, the fact that he's learned all that and he's like obsessed with racing, I love it.
It's great. I think the Netflix show is going to help, Michelle. I don't know if they've talked to you. I've done some interviews with it. It's a great crew. They're actually coming out for the Pacific Classic, I think. And I think they've been following Jason a little bit. And look, with anything, you need ambassadors, and you need ambassadors that have, high profiles.
Yes, exactly.
Jason Werth fits that bill. I think he's well-spoken. He's a lot of fun, obviously. I love that I said, give me a baseball player that you could compare to Dornoch. And he said me. That was awesome. That was awesome. Anyway, great get, Michelle. Thanks for everybody for listening. And we will be back next week. I don't know if we can beat Jayson Werth. We'll have to find someone pretty dang cool, Michelle.
I know. Very exciting. So don't forget, coming up this weekend, all the charity events that we told you about earlier. Also want to remind you that there are 4 New York bred stakes at Saratoga this weekend with over $600,000 in purses. The Great Racing will highlight the New York bred program with the highest purses of any regional state bred program. Wow. The New York Thoroughbred Breeders is an organization dedicated to the advancement of the New York bred program across the breeding and racing industries. Part of the New York bred growth includes $181 million in total purses this year, with membership incentives, including the New York Breeders Magazine, free entrance to NYRA facilities, and discount through the NTRA Advantage. It is a great time to join the NYTB. For more information, you can go on to nytbbreeders.org/membership. And if you're at Saratoga, there is a New York bred sale for Phasig as well coming up, or this week.
And go see Jason Werth as the keynote speaker.
How cool is that? That's awesome, right? Okay, I have a stupid question.
Yeah.
Does he still play baseball?
No, he's retired.
Okay.
He's retired.
So that's why he loves racing. So
he said retired athletes. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
All right.
All right.
Have a great weekend, Michelle. See you, everybody.
Bye.